Do you guys know that the game has over 900 champions? Insane, insane. I just added all of these together now for like the intro of today's video. Welcome guys to another raid video. This is gonna be all about enemy max health champions. There's like what, under 20 in the game. We're gonna cover every single one of them, give you guys my positive and negatives for each one of them. And before that, I want to ask you guys to give me your thoughts on the best Marvel TV shows or movies, because I've been going back into those and starting to watch some because I've missed quite a few apparently since I basically stopped after Endgame, watching Endgame. So yeah, give me guys your opinions down below. But before that, quick word for today's sponsor. And talking about how Marvel movies are some of my favorite ones, Marvel Strike Force comes in with the sponsorship. Thank you so much for sponsoring today's video and the channel. Guys, you will find a download link for the game below in the description and comments of today's video, as well as scanning the QR code that you see on your screen right now. So if you think you know your Marvel heroes, Peggy Carter, Joaquin Torres as Falcon, Patriot, and Captain America Sam are joining in the game with their own unique stories. And if you're curious, you should dive in and try out the game. This is an ultimately squad-based RPG game. It's completely free, and you can assemble your team of your favorite heroes or supervillains to take on some iconic challenges. I mean, how can you not love the Hulk? Look at my boy there. He's in the middle of his attack, and he's gonna use his leap skill right there. Look at that, look at that. And smash the enemies with that huge leap, as well as he's got a skill called Smash. He's just that good. Marvel Strike Force, you could form a team with your favorite superheroes or supervillains and take on some very unique challenges, both PvE and PvP, as well as joining in the Alliance War and the Arena. You'll be able to recruit up to 17 total characters completely for free within your first 30 days of playing, which include heroes such as Spider-Man, Deadpool, Thor, Captain America, and of course, my own favorite, Hulk. New characters are constantly being released, and just this month of February, you should be on the lookout for the brand new Liberty team, which consists of Peggy Carter, Falcon, Patriot, and Captain America Sam. So what are you guys waiting for? Try out Marvel Strike Force right now. I do have a link down below in the description and comments of today's video for trying out the game, as well as scanning the QR code. That works too, to try out and play Marvel Strike Force right now. So guys, let's get started with the video. It's not going to be in a particular order. We're just going to get started with, let's say, the Bannerlords, because I want to cover the one that I don't have here from Bannerlords, and it's Septimus. He does enemy max health. He's a fantastic damage dealer in the sense that he provides utility in his other skills as well, because he's got the ability to get an extra turn and reset the cooldown, the Holy Sword if he kills a target, and Holy Sword is his big enemy max health skill. This can actually dish out some solid damage. It doesn't have the bad multipliers that other champions might have. The only problem with Septimus is that he is affinity, and at this point we have void enemy max health champions. They really are the top of the leaderboards in terms of damage. He also has the ability to extend the duration of debuffs on the target on each of his attacks. So it really gives Septimus, you know, the upper hand compared to some other enemy max health champions, because he provides more utility than just only damage. But if it's only damage you're looking, he falls off because he only has this one skill with a 4-turn cooldown. So there's Septimus. From the Bannerlords, I do not think we have any other enemy max health champion. So if we jump on to the next one, the High Elves have some solid champions here that can actually dish out some good damage without them being enemy max health champions. But the OG here is going to be Royal Guard, which holds, you know, a sweet spot in my heart. I feel like he's been true to my account when I started the game, and I'm not going to talk about Armiger just yet because we're going to cover him next, but he was the next one that I really enjoyed using. He's got a big enemy max health skill that it's AoE, and for places where this really adds up, so the Hydra, when we first started doing the Hydra, guys, you guys remember how hard that was? Royal Guard was in the top positions because not only he has that big AoE, he also has the ability to apply decreased speed on each one of his random hits with this A3 skill, which can also be used for things like the Fire Knight. You could decrease the turn meter. That doesn't always happen. And we also have the decreased defense as well on his A1, making him a really solid champion. And being an epic, it really just adds up to his value, since you can skill him up properly quicker and get that big benefit out of Royal Guard, you know, that much quicker compared to, you know, other champions. Then we jump on to Sacred Order. So for Sacred Order, we have lots of champions here that do, again, a lot of damage. But let's drop back to my one and only favorite, Armiger, right? Okay. For Armiger, I just want to say, personally, he's the best enemy max health champion. I don't care what you say. You have a brand new account, you're going to use Armiger to just push and push and push and just do insane progression where you can reduce Terminator. So if you guys want to have a look, my account, look at that. I've got 4 of them on the account that are level 60 maxed out. The thing is that they really fallen off. For endgame accounts, you just cannot use Armiger anymore. It's sad, but it's true, because you don't have the ability to empower them. You don't have the ability to apply blessings on them. You lose out so much by just having the 2 skills. But decreasing Terminator, that is guaranteed when you crit, and then also having a block revive skill that has enemy max health with a 2-turn cooldown, it's quite insane to ignore. All right, you can ignore it, but it's insane if you do. Okay, he has very low stats. He's an uncommon, so it's not that you can use him forever. Eventually he's gonna be replaced, but he is really OP. All right, I definitely do recommend just leveling him up, but again, he's fallen off. So in the comparison with other champions, there's just no comparison, honestly. So Barbarians, do we have any enemy max health champions? I will say Odin, I consider him an enemy max health champion because he does have this skill that it also ignores defense. This has insane potential in terms of PvP applications. You can use this, and it really doesn't do enemy max health on PvP. It just ignores 100% of their defense. So you do like pure damage on enemies, and the damage that you can do on bosses is really solid. It's not that you're going to be using Odin in boss fights because he's got so much more utility than that, but he is top in terms of being a void. There's no weak hits. You do really solid damage. You can use him in PvP. He's got the crazy passive with the block damage. Does buff spread also passively, taking all buffs and then placing them on allies is just an insane combo where you can be doing with Odin and just spreading buffs around to your teams. He can cleanse out buffs, then apply decreased defense and stun on enemies. So really, they made Odin, and then they thought, okay, how do we basically make others suffer? We're gonna also make the pinpoint set, and that those 2 champions are made for each other. It's kind of crazy if you think about it on how strong he is. When he was at it, he's got a crazy aura as well. I think it's 40% boosting the ally speed for void champions. So that's the highest we have for arena fight. So you just get the idea on how this can work. So next one up, let's go over to Ogryn Tribes. I don't think I'm gonna cover the poison champions, like poison explosion champions, because that is considered enemy max health, because each poison or HP burn does enemy max health. I'm not gonna cover that in that way. So next one up is Grazer Iron God. This guy is insane for the Hydra. Because of his utility, he's defensive based, so he's tanky on his own. He can apply buffs like increased defense and resistance, and then provoke also. That helps a lot. Before the changes to AI, the AoE provoke champions were really, you know, top of the line, because that, like Krisk and this guy, they were so much better in just applying control of that head of decay. Then he also has this, which can also extend the duration of buffs, and it's an enemy max health skill. So you do damage, he heals, he applies shields. He's just generally good. He is a very solid champion. He survives, and the longer he survives, the better it is for you, because you don't have to worry about keeping this champion alive for the duration of the fight. So Grazer, definitely top 10, and in the sense of using him for the Hydra, just is extremely good. Next one up is going to be Skinwalkers. Okay, with Gallius going to be the one that I want to cover, because we did some tests on him when he was available on the test server. I don't have him personally in the account, don't have it on other accounts as well. So he does have enemy max health damage, okay? When counterattacking, damage inflicted by a skill is based on the champion's defense and the enemy's max health. He does some okay damage, but by no means he is top of the line. Having it on a default attack just basically means he's going to have a nerfed multiplier for these types of skills. So for him being a mythical, we all thought that this was going to be insane, but it was bugged at the start. It was doing some insane damage. After that, they fixed it and all was well. We didn't really worry about that anymore, but really he fell off. The mythicals are not all made equal, unfortunately. So some are so insanely better than others. It's just crazy. Next one up is going to be Marius. Marius is by far number 1 on the list of enemy max health champions. By no means is his other skills bad and feeble on an default attack that's an AoE that he spams when there's mythicals against him, or champions that do apply turn meter reduction skills, okay, on him. So he spams his A1. It's just crazy. Sometimes the teams die because he just spams that. This triple hitting enemy max health skill has a huge multiplier that does damage also based on defense. So he is wrecking through on PvP, but also on PvE. Like on the Chimera, you'll be seeing millions of damage on, if you've got the proper builds and blessings on him, you'll be seeing millions and millions of damage from Marius, doing like double damage than your other champions. It's insane if you think about how good this skill is, because you can also reduce his cooldown with this one, which can also stun enemies, can also increase accuracy and increase defense, and give you that extra turn, which basically reduces the cooldown of this from 3 turns to 2, basically, because you'll have the priority of his skill on this one, assuming you have it maxed out, so he doesn't need that extra defense to get to the cap. Okay, so you do your A2 first and then your A3. This basically reduces the cooldown of this. The more times you can use this, the better. It's just crazy good. Insane champion. Also void, also 110 base speed. It's just it pays off to work on those missions for Marius. It just pays off. In terms of other champions, I don't think we have any other on the Skinwalkers. For Orcs, do we have any on the Orcs here? I don't think we have any on the legendaries, but we do have the one and only Seer, who is top 3. I will say top 3. Okay, very difficult to give her the top 3 because it's just legendaries that prove their worth. Maybe okay, top 5. Because Marius is number 1. She's probably number 4 in my list, in my eyes, because she does enemy max health based on the number of buffs that you cleanse off. So there's no cap on when you're doing this damage to the waves. You'll see millions and millions on the waves. You won't see that on bosses. Bosses get capped at 10% now on the hard mode difficulties and on 21 to 25 on normal difficulty. So you'll see that cap there, but the waves get absolutely destroyed. So Seer, for the ice column and the dragon, she's still there on the hard mode 10 teams because she helps cycle through those waves. For Fire Knight, not so much. There's other teams that work, and for Spider, it just doesn't make any sense. So for any wave situation, Seer is still number 1 and can also be used for teams clearing through the Doom Tower. So she's definitely insane, and she's been like this since almost forever. At the start, she had like a bug, I believe, and this skill was doing insane damage on Spider, but then they kind of fixed it, but she's still quite good. So from Demon Spawn, if I'm not mistaken, well, we don't have any max health champions here. I don't think Mortus Macabres is any max health. No, this is like, it's just pure damage that he does. And from epics, I don't think we have any right here. I think we have some on Undead Hordes for sure, right? Undead Hordes, we do have Defiled Sinner. He has the skill which got nerfed. So this says it does equal to 15% of the max health if the first hit kills an enemy. It doesn't do that. So it's not that this skill is going to do 15% of the boss's health. That would have been insane if he did that by first killing one enemy and then he does like a big AoE. There's not many situations where you can take advantage of this. Might have been, let's say, the ice golem or the spider, but honestly, it just doesn't work. Unfortunately, this still has a high multiplier as a skill, like attack-based single target skills got like a 6.3 multiplier or something. So it's still good, but really it has no use. It just has no use, unfortunately. So we also have other enemy max health damage dealing champions, guys. As I said, like explosions of poisons, like Karam, he does that, but Husk is going to be the one that I'll call out. He is definitely top 10 in the sense that he has enemy max health plus the ability to stun plus a provoke. These two skills alone make him really good for the Hydra for beginner accounts. You're looking to apply provoke on the head of decay. Now with a custom AI, you can just eliminate this use of skill. So you'll have an A1 and the A2. He'll be using A1 by default now on the head of decay. So that helps out the whole team. And then he does this with a 4-turn cooldown. So he is tanky because he's HP based and can dish out some good damage. So there's no losing with that. Then if we have a look at Dark Elves. So Dark Elves, again, Zavia, we've got Explosion is there. With enemy max health, you also want to consider utility, okay? So the biggest champion I want to call out is Coldheart. She is so good. Probably number 5 in terms of enemy max health because of how many places you can use her and just utilize her. So you can use her in Fire Knight teams throughout. You can use her in teams for Sand Devil. You can use her in teams for Phantom Shogun. She's got great utility because she's got multi-hit attacks, heal reduction, can apply decreased defense, decreased accuracy, sorry. It can also apply enemy max health damage plus turn meter control, plus she doesn't need 100% crit rate to actually do her damage. So it's very easy for newer accounts to build her out, and she really, really shows her utility. She's a rare. You can max her out very easily. You can get books from the clan shop to max her out. So that just adds up on her utility and how useful she can be. She's the best rare in terms of enemy max health. Next one up is Knight's Revenant. So Knight's Revenant, we got Theodore that he does the explosion of HP burns and poisons, but I said I won't cover those. We got Kalvalax, who he's got like a weak version of an enemy max health skill. This damage is according to the number of poisons on the target, so it's very conditional on how this is going to work, and it doesn't do that good of damage. He still is used in endgame teams where you've got multiple Kalvalaxes and then poison explosion champions, but again, just the enemy max health HP skill that he has is not as good. You just need to have like a proper setup for him to get properly, utilized. You properly utilize this guy and do some good damage. So next one up, let's see who's on the list. Did I not cover Wallmaster Authorion before? Authorion, yeah. How did I skip this guy before? When we went over on High Elves, kind of skipped him, but Wallmaster Authorion also is quite insane. He's got almost the same idea as, I want to say Marius, because he has the ability to get an extra turn. This is a 4-turn cooldown skill, so he gets that extra turn. He's using the A2. This A2 has a 3-turn cooldown, so basically it's 2 turns, so he does big AoE attack. This can actually dish out good damage on the Hydra. He is magic though, so you'll have to have that in mind. He applies block buffs, decrease attack, a lot of utility with this guy, and he can also increase his own max health for each enemy killed or Hydra head decapitated by this champion, so basically making him tankier as the fight goes on, which allows him to survive. Basically, that's why you want him to be tankier as the fight goes on. So Wallmaster Authorion, top 10. Did I cover the top 5 already? I think no, because I was trying to leave a spot here for my own favorite, which is Acrisia and Newt. There's just nowhere. Newt is, when this guy was introduced into the game, was when the YouTube thing with Raid Shadow Legends was going on with their series, and he's just, there's no words to describe how strong this skill is. You have 3 Newts now that completely eliminate bosses. You give him a blessing that does the execution thing. If you got a high star blessing, it does more damage quicker. And it's just insane. You see 3 Newts just taking down a boss that used to take a lot of thinking, like the Bommel boss on the Doom Tower. It's quite insane. He's got a freeze skill that can be used on both the normal and the hard mode version of the Fire Knight. He's got a counterattack, decrease attack, weaken. He does 100% when he counterattacks instead of 75% damage. He is insane and definitely gets number 2 spot in my eyes because of his extra utility that he has. Number 2 in terms of enemy max health. And number 3 is going to be Acrizia, because give her a relentless set and she's going to be spamming turns. This skill 3-turn cooldown, this skill 3-turn cooldown, plus the ability to steal turn meter. Enemy max health, enemy max health, enemy max health. Anything she does is enemy max health. So if you build her heavy enough, she's going to do what you built her for. Enemy max health. And tell me that she is not the most badass looking champion. Look at that sword. Look at the equipment she's got. Look at the helmet. It just screams, I'm going to take you down and it's going to hurt. All right. It's just fantastic champion. I just love Acrizia so much. She's definitely worth number 3 just for the pure damage potential. If she had more utility other than just decreased defense, all right, and applying like a shield on herself doesn't count really. If she had that more utility, let's say a decreased attack as well, she would have been number 2 for sure under Marius, because Marius is also free if you think about it. So yeah, it just gets that much more interesting with enemy max health champion. So other champions, I don't think I've missed any other, right? I think Dark Elves probably missed Still Boyer. We can cover that one. It's just not even worth mentioning really. And Sylvan Watchers don't have anyone, right, that does any max health. Still Boyer, yeah. She also had a bug, I believe, on enemy max health. She had an AoE attack, 5-turn cooldown, and this just doesn't do it. It got nerfed so much. So if I'm gonna check now her multipliers, just to give you guys a thought, it's just 0.02 of HP plus 3 times attack. It's just not enough. It's not enough to dish out good damage. It got nerfed. It's got a very high cooldown. It's an AoE, of course, but it's very high cooldown. It's just sad. I wish they recovered those, you know, changes they made and make her a little bit more interesting. The same thing with all enemy max health champions. Maybe have some sort of, you know, idea behind what you're doing with the nerf and not just completely nerfing it. Just remove it if you're gonna nerf it that much. But yeah, guys, these were the enemy max health champions covered in this video. If I missed anyone, please put it down in the comments, because I've been trying to find a list of all of these champions. It's just difficult to find them. It's just, I just have no list and no proper list. Some are missing, some are not, but I think I covered every one of them. We definitely have under 20. So the top 5 is for sure, I would say, the one I mentioned, with Seer being number 4, maybe Coldheart number 5 of us, as I said, because Coldheart is just a rare. So there's that. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you have not already. Thank you all for the support. I will see you all in the next video. See ya.